Morning, everybody, and welcome to a pre-show to a special edition of the Guys Who Stare at Stats. I'm Cade Kennedy, and tonight we have a very special show planned for you. I'm coming on just a few minutes early before we get started at 5:30. Of course, I will be joined by Connor Gray, Andrew Santangelo, JD Eddy. It will be a fun show tonight, but I'm going to get started talking about a team that plays just a few minutes away from our NWTV7 studio. That is, of course, the Northwestern Rangers. Baseball season is in full swing, and the Rangers are halfway through their season. Tonight, I'll be discussing how the season has gone so far for the Rangers and what is ahead for them. Now, over the weekend, the Rangers took a trip to Shawnee to take on the Bison of Oklahoma Baptist. It did not go well for the Rangers as they lost the series 2-1, and Oklahoma Baptist won the first two games. The Rangers were able to get the third game to avoid the sweep. Now, the Rangers lost the first game, lost game two. We're not going to cover game one. That was more of a generic game. It was one of those typical baseball games, I guess you could say, one of those 9-1 types of games it felt like. But we are going to talk about game two, where Oklahoma Baptist won 16-6. Bison got off to a scorching hot start, had an 8-0 lead at the end of the third inning. Northwestern trying to get a comeback going. They get 4 runs at the top of the fourth, but nothing able to go there. The Rangers getting beat, like I said, 16-6. And Rangers were able to avoid the sweep. They did get a 14-9 win over Oklahoma Baptist in the third game to close it off there. Now, the source I have for this main point, a story from Andrew Santangelo of RideRangersRide.com. Northwestern takes Game 3, 14-9, which was Ryan Bowen's 100th victory, and it mentions it here, the title Bowen's 100th victory. And the quote we have with it, the Northwestern News doing a story over it, of course. Ryan Bowen, the head coach of the Rangers, talking about Game 2. We pitched it and played well defensively, but we just did not hit well. And that was the main story of that game. And then moving on to what happened after that series, which is something we don't really talk about. Usually we don't mention midweek games on the show. But the baseball, hot dogs, and apple pie event at David Allen Memorial Ballpark in Enid. Northwestern taking on East Central. It was a 9-0 win for Northwestern. They blasted the Tigers, getting their 4th win of the year over East Central, with the Rangers scoring 7 runs in the first 3 innings. And the main point there for that one, a story, once again, Andrew Santangelo of RideRangersRide.com. Rangers complete shutout victory to finish season sweep over the Tigers. But the Rangers right now, currently a record of 17-21, and have a 10-14 record in conference play. Now, they're currently 10th place in the GAC, the Rangers are, but are only 1 conference game behind Southwestern and Arkansas Monticello, meaning that if Northwestern can get a win, or win the series, and Southwestern and Arkansas Monticello lose their series, Northwestern would jump back into the top 8. Now, they're entering an easier part of the schedule, the Rangers are, as they try to make this playoff push, and if they can get it to go their way, they can be a playoff contender. Now, I do thank you for sticking around. Like I said, this is the pre-show. We will be live back once again in a few minutes here. So if you've liked what you've heard so far, be sure to come back in a few minutes. Give us a follow here on Twitch. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, or find us even on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or even TikTok. That is right. We do have a TikTok now, ladies and gentlemen. Just search for NWTV7, and we will be there. We will be back in 3 minutes.